All right, so one of the biggest questions that everybody asks is, so what are all the things I can do with Project Broadcast? What are you integrating it with? And I will tell you my answer, thanks to the people at Project Broadcast, is always anything that fits in my process. I can literally put anything in my process and make it work. And so I'm going to show you something today that I think you'll love. So I've got two windows open. First is a form, because a lot of us are using forms. And so the first thing is a form. This is a jot form, but I call it, like, some people call this an intake form. Some people call it like a discovery form. Whatever your form name that you want to call is fine. I'm using jot form. You could do the exact same thing with Google form. You could do the exact same thing with a Wufoo form, or there's so many. You could do it with it pretty much any of them. This is jot form. It's my favorite form. So the next thing is on the right-hand side, I've got a Trello board, and lots of us use Trello because we like to track every little thing that we're doing to make sure that we're staying on track, right? So what happens in our normal world? Someone fills out a form, and then what do we need to do? We have to do two things. We have to take that form and put the information inside of Trello, and we have to take that form, look for it, and go, okay, is this person already a contact in my Project Broadcast account? Then I need to add them if they're not, or I need to update them if they are, and I need to message them. Stop. You don't have to. The folks at Project Broadcast have made the workings of these things so awesome because they've given an amazing API, which we don't need to know what that means. We just need to know it's really cool to make these things work. So I'm going to show you. By the way, this is why I'll probably never go away from Project Broadcast, because this is just phenomenal. So here's our form. I've already kind of filled it out with the things that matter. Here's what matters. What do we need the most? We need their name and we need their phone number. We need that more than anything else on our intake forms, right? So I filled that out with name and phone number on here. Then let's go ahead and submit it. So this is a person who's interested in working with us, and I want you to ignore, you're going to get a thank you page. Just ignore that. More than anything, when I hit submit on this form, I want you to watch what happens over here. And then I'm going to show you something that happens in another location. Okay, watch this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit submit. Boom. Now watch what happens over here inside of Trello. Did you see that? You probably missed it. It was so fast. That was Jane Doe that I just filled it out. Here's Jane Doe right here. Check it out. Not only does it fill out, it gives me all the most important information that Jane gave me in her filling out of the form. And it immediately added a checklist for me ready to go for the first things that I would do if Jane becomes a client. But hold on, you guys, this is not a Trello training, okay? This is what we have to do. We'd normally have to add the Trello, and then we would, where else? We'd have to check in Project Broadcast and add them. Guess what? Jane has already been added to Project Broadcast. And by the way, I use my own phone number for Jane. So Jane's already been added to Project Broadcast, but you notice that I have a new text message that's popped up down there in the green. If I click that green right there, boom, look at this. It says, hey, Jane, I just got your form and I'm going over it. Would love to set up a time and talk with you. Do you hear that? Would love to set up a time and talk with you about your next steps. What is a good time for you tomorrow? Or how does tomorrow look for you? Okay. That's phenomenal in itself, right? That in itself is amazing. But let's come back to the Trello board real quick, because the form now has worked with Project Broadcast that we have. And it's also worked with the Trello board, but it's worked with Project Broadcast. That's what's happened. They filled out the form and it immediately added them. It looked for them. It added them if they weren't there. And it sent them a text message saying, I got the form. Didn't have to do a thing. But check this out. Let's come back over here to our Trello board. And inside of our Trello board now, we have some stuff. Let's say Jane becomes a client and I ordered for her. And I said, yep, I got to order her first thing, whatever it is. Here we'll call it kit. So I order her kit. Okay. So what would I do? I would click that order button. So I'd click it and say I did that. Well, shouldn't I tell Jane that I ordered that kit? So I've clicked it. Shouldn't I tell her, hey, I ordered your kit for you, right? I should. So I've jumped back over here and I just want you to watch this. Boom, just got another text. I don't know if you saw that. It came right in. It says, wahoo, your order is placed, Jane. I'm going to send you a couple things to make sure you're all set when it arrives. You should get an email too. Let me know if you don't get it. You guys, this is the stuff when people ask me, so what do you do with Project Broadcast? This is the stuff I do. We're able, because of the way it's been built, we're able to have it work with all the things. So it worked with the form by sending out I got your form. It worked with Trello, like I finished a task, order complete. It then texted Jane and let her know that her order was complete. It did that for me. So that's just an idea of some of the different ways that you can integrate Project Broadcast when you really understand your process and your streamlining. I hope that inspires you. I really hope that inspires you. Think about the possibilities. What are in your process? Project Broadcast probably will work with them.